Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive.
No one talks about how expensive it is to be single. When you're single, you're paying 100% of everything with your one income.
Anytime you see a video of a person who lives alone talking about how much they like living alone, they don't tell you that when you live alone, you also have like a fear of something happening to you in your apartment.
So I want to talk about what it's like living alone, because I think it's important to remember that while living alone can teach you a lot about yourself, there's also some major downsides to living alone.
Okay, something I feel like that's not talked about enough on this app is being single and financially how hard it is.
Dude, being single is freaking sucky and it's freaking hard.
You ever been so fucking broke, you just know something good is about to happen because ain't no fucking way. Oh, fuck. Like, you try to make a good situation out of every goddamn thing, but shit, the world we live in, bitch, soon as you go outside, you spending $100.
Welcome to Masculine Dow.
Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all four brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities.
That's the reality most men have been living for years. Bills don't care about independence, feelings, or lifestyle choices. Somebody has to carry the financial load, and now you're seeing what that actually costs.
The tax of being single. It's really interesting because no one talks about how expensive it is to be single. When you're single, you're paying 100% of everything with your one income. Say you're going on vacation. Most hotel rooms are priced assuming there are 2 adults in the room. So if you have a room that's, let's say, $600 a night, you would split that. But if you're a single person, you're paying the full price. And then there's the obvious stuff like your mortgage or your bills. Let's say your mortgage is $5,000. If you have 2 working people in a relationship, you're only paying $2,500 a month. That is a huge difference than someone who's paying $5,000 a month for their mortgage all by themselves. It's like those little things where you could be saving that extra money, you could be getting further ahead. Let's not forget bills, utilities, groceries, all of that stuff. Now, this goes even deeper because let's think about things like getting sick. So for example, when I get sick, I have no other income to rely on, and it is the most stressful thing. So like if I ever take time off, I'm actually like losing money and there's nothing else to supplement. And that's a really stressful thing. I think about every single time I ever go on a trip or a vacation, there's no one to like pick me up. I always have to Uber to the airport and back. And those are just very subtle, small taxes that you do have to pay as a single person. Like you just know that you have to factor in because you don't have that extra support.
You're describing adulthood. Millions of men have been paying 100% of their bills, fixing their own problems, and carrying their own weight for decades. It's not a single person tax. It's called being responsible for yourself.
Anytime you see a video of a person who lives alone talking about how much they like living alone, they don't tell you that when you live alone, you also have like a fear of something happening to you in your apartment or your place, and it taking days for people to figure out that something's wrong. Like, people would have to do a wellness check to come and see if I'm good if I stop answering the phone. You essentially have to either depend on somebody that's close to you, calling the police and the police actually showing up, or one of your neighbors being attentive enough to see that you haven't moved your car or that they haven't heard from you.
Dude, being single is freaking sucky and it's freaking hard. Like, everybody's like, oh, but you're so young. And it's like, yeah, I know I have time, whatever. But it's like, dude, some days you just get sick of it. You're like, I have nobody to come home to. I have nobody to make plans with ever. I have nobody's freaking family to spend time with. Like, it's just freaking sucky. And then I don't know, you guys. Like, honestly, most days I'm chill. I'm okay with, like, being single, but, like, some days you just get so sick of it and you just feel so alone and you're like, literally, where is this person that I'm supposed to spend, like, all of eternity with? Like, where are they? And it just gets hard and you're like, are they even coming? Like, genuinely, I don't know. I don't know, and sometimes there's just no hope. And yeah, you know, just check on your single friends because we're holding it together. And some people genuinely are, like, so happy being single, they don't even think about being with anybody else, and that is totally fine. I wish I was like that. And I don't think about my singleness every second of the day, but some days it's just so freaking hard to keep it together and act like I don't want that because I want it so bad. So, yeah, anyway.
That's the loneliness most men know all too well. For years, society laughed at lonely men, ignored them, or blamed them for their situation. Now that more women are experiencing the same emptiness, suddenly everybody wants sympathy and support groups.
You ever been so fucking broke, you just know something good is about to happen because ain't no fucking way. Oh, fuck. Like, you try to make a good situation out of every goddamn thing, but shit, the world we live in, bitch, soon as you go outside, you spending $100. Why the fuck is it this shit was set for us to fail? I swear to God, bitch, because you can't go nowhere in this motherfucker without spending money. I don't give a fuck if you just going down the street. You spend money checking your motherfucking mailbox, bitch. Did you know that? Cause these motherfucking bills is high as giraffe pussy. And bitch, I gotta laugh to keep from crying. Ain't no sense in crying, bitch. You already knew you had that bill once before, but I'm just saying, God damn, can a bitch get a break? Why the fuck we gotta pay the same bill every month? Bitch, give me a break. Give me a discount, bitch. I pay my shit on time every month. My bills are paid. Give a bitch a break. But y'all drop y'all thoughts down in the comments if y'all agree. Bye, muscleheados.
Okay, something I feel like that's not talked about enough on this app is being single and financially how hard it is. I literally work 2 jobs. I work in sales and I teach Pilates part-time. Both of the jobs pay pretty well, but still I feel like it's so hard to stay afloat. And like, don't get me wrong, I like to ski. I definitely don't live a frugal life. I have a nice apartment. Never say no to plans, but like, how are people doing it? How are you attending everyone's bachelorette parties, everyone's birthday dinner, going on all of these trips with your friend and having leftover money to spend on yourself? Completely stopped doing my hair, so that saves some money. Truly exhausting. I just don't understand it.
You're working 2 jobs and asking how people stay afloat while admitting you refuse to say no to expensive plans. Men have been sacrificing hobbies, vacations, and social lives for years just to stay financially stable. Reality doesn't care what lifestyle you want, it cares what you can afford.
I don't think it's talked about enough how expensive it is being single. And that's not just like about going out, meeting people, loads of money on like new things to meet people. I'm talking about living, rent. I'm looking at flats with my flatmate. She and I are both single. So we're obviously looking at 2-bed, double bedrooms because we're adult, live in a double bedroom. It's expensive. Really expensive. Like I was looking at 1-beds that come up, not for me and her, just to see what the price difference is. If I'm splitting a 1-bed with my partner, and I've got all of that extra money each month, I'd be stock, shares, ISA, money, saving, shopping. No, it's going on my living situation. I'm an adult and I need to pay for the whole room on my own. Yeah, it's actually really expensive, and I think we don't talk about it enough. So your single friends have got a lot more outgoings, so check in on them. Okay, we're okay. We're just a bit broke. We're just spending a lot of money on living. If I spent half of the amount I did on rent, I would be laughing. I would be laughing. My savings would be laughing. Gosh, just don't think about it. Yeah.
I'm about to sign the lease to my literal dream apartment. And instead of being excited and over the moon about it, I'm actually just stressed because I'm just so sick of having to make these massive life decisions by myself, and I have such an amazing support network that give me their advice and tell me what they think I should do. But at the end of the day, like, it all just sits on me, and I'm always just scared of making the wrong decision, and I'm just so sick of having to guide my own self through all of life. It should be so exciting, and instead I'm just stressed that I'm making the wrong choice. But when does this feeling stop? I just wish I could share the responsibility of life and all of the decisions with someone.
That's the burden most men carry every day, making the big decisions, taking the risks, living with the consequences, and having nobody else to blame if things go wrong. It's not exciting, it's responsibility.
Want to know something that just really gets on my nerves? And is this a rant? Probably yes, kind of. However, it's a rant of a mother that is over 50, a single parent, has children that are adults but not really adults, and everything that they do revolves around my income. So student loans, anything revolves around my income on the FOSFA or whatever the hell you call that thing. And that is not cool, because when do I get a break on anything? I don't get a tax break on anything because I'm a single person and I don't have little kids. I don't get any of those grants or any of that stuff that they give everybody else that is not a middle-aged woman that is single. And one day I'm going to absolutely lose my mind over this. Today might be the day. I'm not really sure. But where is the relief for a hardworking single woman in her 50s that has kids, that is adults, but is like raising them on her own and always has? What is that? Where is my help? Okay, I'm kind of whining, but I'm kind of not. And I am going to go to Pilates now.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I gonna do? Eat lasagna for 6 days? When I could use Uber Eats and one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single. Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just like collapse.
The irony is that for years, people celebrated independence like it came with no cost. Now the rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, and subscriptions are all landing on one paycheck, and suddenly, partnership doesn't sound so outdated anymore. Reality always sends the bill eventually.
This message is for the girls that live by themselves and are single. So if you're a dude or you're not those two things, get out. Okay, for the rest of us, no one talks about how hard it is when you go through something and you just need someone to talk to, and that partner isn't there anymore, and you live by yourself, so it's just quiet. And you could call your friends, but you feel like a burden because you don't want to just ring them up and tell them that you're going through something. And you don't want to just date or like have some random person validate you because that's not worth it. So you're stuck in this limbo. You got this.
Being single is incredibly expensive, and I'm not talking about just not splitting rent. The entire infrastructure of America is very much set up for couples. It is baked into the foundation of our country and how we have organized things like housing, healthcare, employment, and the social safety net. Start with something like housing. Zoning laws in most American cities effectively mandate single-family homes, which are designed for nuclear families. And places where single people might stay, like studios and one-bedrooms, tend to be less available. And if they are available, they tend to be significantly more expensive per square foot than other units. Or take something like healthcare. Employer-sponsored health programs assume a spouse might need coverage. That is very much baked into how things are priced and subsidized. But single people cannot call their friend and, get on their health insurance plan, right? Like that benefit structure only recognizes one kind of interdependence. And the same with tax policy. It very much compounds all of this. Joint filers get way more tax benefits than single filers. Estate transfers between spouses are tax-free. If I left something to my friend who's been my person for decades, that doesn't matter. They have to pay taxes on it. And what's so interesting is when we talk about the singles tax, we often are thinking about it simply in terms of like splitting groceries or splitting rent. We're not talking about it as a policy category in the same way that we're talking about families. But so many American adults are unmarried. So many of us are struggling or paying more of the singles tax and not thinking about the broader architecture and how it affects us and how we could potentially change it.
The reality of your early 20s is that it is super lonely and you will just be alone all the fucking time. Like, I feel so isolated. I feel so depressed because I'm unemployed. I got laid off like a month ago, and that was like the only structure in my day keeping me social. For some reason, none of my coworkers talk to me. Every time I think I'm trying to make a friend, I get ghosted, and I don't fucking know why, but obviously I'm the problem if it keeps happening to me. Like, not even super close with anyone in my family. No mother figure. Father ghosts me all the fucking time. It's great. It's fucking great. It sucks, man. I'm just alone.
That loneliness is real, but it's not unique to women. Millions of men go through life's hardest moments completely alone and are still expected to keep moving without anyone checking on them.
So I want to talk about what it's like living alone, because I think it's important to remember that while living alone can teach you a lot about yourself, there's also some major downsides to living alone. The first thing being, if you're sick, you have to deal with it yourself. There's no one that's going to help take care of you unless you're really sick and you have someone that lives near you that can come help you. Another thing is the bills are all on you, okay? This is all your responsibility. Cleaning is very easy, but cooking is tough. Cooking every day is tough for yourself. And the other thing is, yes, it's nice to have some solitude, but you can very easily get lonely, especially if you're used to living with like your family or other, like having a big household. Going from that to living alone is very isolating.
Single tax is having to throw away half your groceries every week because you can't get through them all. Single tax is having no one to split your subscriptions with, your Amazon Prime, your Netflix, etc. Single tax is not having a second brain to help you, so you end up spending more. For example, you leave your clothes in the washer because no one's helping to remind you to put them in the dryer, or putting them in the dryer, so you have to wash them a second time. Single tax is not having a second brain, so you have to pay more in your bills. For example, not having a second person checking to make sure the lights have been turned off before you leave your apartment when you go out of town. On top of the fact that single tax is not having anyone to split your bills with, period. Electricity and the like. Single tax is not having anyone to split any baby shower gift, wedding gift, etc. with. Single tax is not having anyone to split every Uber you take anywhere with. Single tax is not having anyone to split the cost of the hotel for the wedding with. The wedding that was out of town and the couple got a $500 a night hotel for. Single tax is paying to furnish an entire apartment or home by yourself. Single tax is not getting deductions on your taxes for being married or having dependents. Single tax is working a full-time job, but also being the only one able to be home if the maintenance guy needs to come in, the internet needs fixing, etc. Single tax is having to pay the locksmith because you don't have anybody with a second set of keys to let you in late at night. Finally, single tax is being told that all these things can just be done by a roommate or a close friend or a neighbor, but we all know it's not the same.
Hi guys, let's chat while I wait for my car to warm up. I posted that video talking about I only make $40,000 a year and that I'm having to figure out how to live on $40,000. But a few questions I got was, one, I would be broke if I lived off of $40,000 where I live. I live in the state of Michigan, and I also live very modestly. Like, I don't have any large expenses. I rent a room in my friend's house, so that is why my rent is so cheap, only $500. Considering all those things, I know it's possible. I just got my new job. I'm very grateful. I want to keep trying to job hop to find the perfect salary. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been that person. I'm learning that in this season there is power in staying put and actually growing roots in the place. And so that is my plan. I plan to stay at my job for a little bit and then potentially switch into another career field or just move up in my career path. But yeah, that is how I make $40,000, and that is how I intend to live on that $40,000. When I tell you guys, I mean to live on it. Like, I don't use credit cards. The most I'll use is like buy now, pay later, but that is like in a like emergency situation. But I know we can do this. We can do it.
The best advice I can give myself when you're in a relationship is to act like you're single. Now, hold on. Stay with me now. Stay with me. I don't mean like act like you single literally. I mean like, you know, when you get single and all of a sudden you want to go to the gym all the time, you want to get in your Bible, you start focusing on yourself, you start going on dates by yourself, you start learning about thyself. Yeah, that's probably my best advice ever. And the goal is not to decenter men. The goal is to focus on yourself. I feel like all this decentering men, you're actually still subconsciously focusing on men. How about we just change that energy and we focus on ourselves, right? And let your world still be your own world. If you have a boyfriend, just still go about your day and just do whatever you would do if you were single. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it just takes off the like, we have so many expectations sometimes when having a boyfriend, and it's like, we got to remember, this is a boyfriend. I hope that makes sense. And my dad has even said that too. My dad was like, if you could cut down your nagging to like 50% less, your relationship probably would thrive more. And I believe him. And I think it's just I just think, because sometimes as a girl, I think we're just too focused on what they got going on. You're not their mom, you're not their babysitter. I think it's best just to act like you're single. I truly feel like that helps a relationship thrive. Like, no, you're not ignoring them. No, you're not talking to other niggas. You're just doing what you would do if you don't have a boyfriend. And this is advice through experience. I don't know everything, but I would highly recommend just trying it out. I think it makes your relationship thrive a lot better.
Paying the bills, handling sickness alone, cooking, cleaning, and fighting loneliness is exactly what millions of men have been doing for decades. That's not a single woman problem. That's adult responsibility. Anyway, that's enough for today. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, and stay tuned for the next video.